Here we go for another episode. Hi, and welcome to Your Selling Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Kirk, aka Your Selling Guide. I'm a small-town girl who took a big risk and quit a steady corporate desk job to travel the U.S. in an RV. Along the way, I started selling on Amazon, grew a 7-figure business, visited all the lower 48 states, bought a farm, and today I am still doing what I love to do, selling on Amazon while helping other sellers do it too. Each week, I will share Amazon tips and tricks and bring in guests to share their stories, expertise, and tips on the platforms that they use. Think of this as a sit down with your Amazon bestie where you can learn, ask, start, and grow your online selling business. Welcome to Your Selling Pod. Hey crew, and welcome back. On today's episode, I'm going to be breaking down the Amazon Payments Dashboard, otherwise known to Amazon sellers as the dreaded account level reserve. This year, in addition to launching the podcast, I'm super excited because I'm also hosting meetups across the U.S. Our first one in Florida was so much fun. I can't wait for the next one. It's coming up in May. Make sure you head over to yoursellingguide.com/meetup or follow me on Instagram at yoursellingguide or yoursellingpodcast for more details to come. Okay, are you ready to jump in and talk about money? I know you are. So the one thing I always want to stress to anyone who is interested in Amazon or is in their first few months of selling is that Amazon is not a get-rich-quick or even get-rich-at-all thing. It will take you weeks, if not a month or two, before you ever see a payout from Amazon. And when you do, it's going to be small. So if you need money right now to pay your bills, you can go out and get a 9-to-5 to pay your bills and build up your Amazon business on the side. In fact, if you can get in the headspace of not expecting to take out any money from your Amazon business and to roll over your profits into more inventory to grow your levels to sustain the ability to pull out profits on a consistent basis. So what that typically looks like for a new seller is rolling over all of your profits for the first 3 to 6 months or even more. Rolling that over into more inventory for your store. This is really important to understand when you're starting your Amazon business because it will help you manage your expectations. It's going to help you limit any frustrations of thinking that this is not working because you're not pulling out money. So say you're starting your business with $500. You'll use all of that $500 to purchase your first few items for your inventory. Then, when all of that sells, you'll get back from Amazon that $500 plus any profits you made, which you will now roll over into more inventory. So let's say you made $350 profit on that first $500 worth of inventory. Now you have $850 because again, you got the $500 back that you put into your cost of goods plus the $350 profit you made. Now let's say you take that $850 and you're going to go spend it on more inventory. Now you've made $700 profit on that $850. And now you see the snowball happening. Now you have $1,550 cash to turn around and buy more inventory with. You would keep this going until you get your inventory to a level that you're comfortable with. The longer you can go without pulling money out of your Amazon business, the better your business is going to be. You can scale faster and have larger profit level the more you can just keep rolling that over. So you can start with as much or as little money as you want to, or as what you're comfortable with. I started low. I started with $500. Some sellers start with just $100 or $200, and it still works. It's just going to take you longer to get your inventory levels higher, which will translate into a longer time until you're able to actually pay yourself with a profit. For me, it looked like this. I spent $500 on my first month of inventory, and then a few weeks later, I decided to invest another $750 from my savings into it so I could buy more inventory. By my 4th month, I had paid back that initial investment. So I had paid back the $500 plus the $750 that I invested in it. And then by my 5th month, I began taking out profits to pay myself consistently. It's also really important to understand that you may not get your first substantial payout from Amazon for 4 to 6 weeks. That's 4 to 6 weeks after your first product sales. This is why after a month and I had $500, I went ahead and I spent that additional $750 to keep my inventory flowing. I hadn't received any substantial money back from Amazon, but I wanted to keep the product selling and build up my inventory levels. How it works is Amazon holds back the money from your sales to cover any potential returns or chargebacks. And the money from your sales will show up in your account level reserve. If you happen to be following along with me on your desktop or in Amazon Seller Central, you want to head over to your payments dashboard. So reports and payments in Amazon. There, you're going to see a real lovely, colorful chart that doesn't tell you a whole lot. But at the top, you're going to see your net proceeds. This is all of the money from your sales for this period. Now, Amazon time periods are 14 days or 2-week periods. However, if you request a payout, which we'll get into in a second, that does end a current period and start another one. So if you don't request a payout and you do nothing from Amazon, Amazon will automatically send you your money every 2 weeks. The account level reserve that rolled over from your previous period is now your new beginning balance, as well as any refunds that were reimbursed. Then you have your expenses. These are all your Amazon monthly selling fees for your professional account, your commission that you pay to Amazon on sales, your shipping fees, your postage you paid if you paid for any FBM orders that you sent out, and then finally we've got your account level reserve. To be eligible for an Amazon payout in the first place, you have to have a positive account balance. You have to have funds available to transfer, right? And you also have to have a valid bank account attached to your Amazon account, as well as a valid credit card on file. If you are looking at your account and you're seeing that there's an available amount to transfer, but it never transfers on the day it's supposed to, make sure that you actually have a credit card and a valid bank account, because it does need to be a credit card. Now, sometimes when you're first setting up your account, you can use a debit card and Amazon will actually let you. But when it comes time for payout, you might run into trouble because there are issues with some of the banks and their clearinghouses. And yes, this is something that has happened in the community to different members. So you want to make sure that your money is not stuck in limbo and that you have a valid credit card on file. Account level reserves, or the available balance, happen to all sellers all the time. This is never going to go away. It's money that Amazon has held back, again, to cover any charges, claims, customer returns, and refunds. Account level reserves are based on what Amazon deems as eligible payment, aka money they are going to pay you. They base this payment eligibility on your order dates. So all of the money you make on an order is actually held for 7 days. And this 7 days is after the estimated delivery date for the order. And this is really crucial to understand. So say your customer ordered something on the 14th. Amazon shipped it on the 15th. It was delivered to the customer on the 20th. Now those funds from that sale will be held from 7 days after the 20th, which would put us at the 27th. If you are doing FBM, however, and you did not buy your shipping labels through Amazon, they're going to base that date on the estimated delivery date. So say your item gets to the customer 3 days earlier than it was estimated, they're actually going to keep the estimated date of when it was supposed to be delivered. So you're losing out on 3 days, and now your 7 days is now 10 days. Just something to keep in mind, and why it's a benefit to purchase your shipping straight through Amazon. Among a lot of other things, actually, purchasing your shipping through Amazon gives you a lot of protections, and it's the only way I would recommend it. I would not recommend buying shipping outside of Amazon, because if someone loses their packages or disappears from the doorstep, you will be covered if you purchased it through Amazon. Now, Amazon holds back these account level reserves because they want to ensure that you have the funds to pay any of your customers' returns. Amazon is not going to cover your customer returns, okay? That's just not going to happen. They're going to use your money to ensure that your customers are taken care of. Other reasons they might be holding back funds are your seller performance matrix, so your account health. They take into account your seller reviews, which translate into why you as a new seller might have more money held back each period than a more experienced seller. Again, you probably won't see a payout as a new seller for a month after you make your first sale. So 4 weeks after your very first sale, you can expect to see a payout on Amazon. At the end of each settlement, that reserve is carried over into your available balance on the next statement. Once a settlement cycle closes, you can download a detailed summary under the All Statements tab in your Amazon account. You can download it as a flat file or it'll open as a TXT file, and you can save it how you want to, but you can see the breakdown by order. On the view summary option, it'll take you to another pretty flow chart, and you can see at the bottom, you can hit print to see the statement as a PDF. In the payment screen, you can also select the transaction view and see all of your transactions and all of the breakdowns of each fee. If you're there and you click on the blue total, it'll pop open to a new screen with all the different breakdowns of the fees and everything that you paid. Under the transaction view, again, under transaction type, you can see that if you filter the different options, you can see various different things. So anytime you go there, it's going to naturally be in the settlement period that you're in. But if you want to, you can hit custom dates and see the exact dates that you're looking for. You can see any refunds. And if you click other, it'll show you any of the reimbursements that you've been given. Other transactions is what it means. So if you want to see how much you've been paying for FBM shipping, you would click Shipping Services Purchased. And these are all your different FBM orders that you paid to have a label for. From the drop down, if you do service fees, you're going to see all your disposals and your removal orders. And you'll also see here your FBA shipping and then again your professional service fee. Now back to that every 2-week payment cycle. So if you select to have your payment sent out early, it will calculate how much you can get on a specific date of your choosing. So on the desktop, you would toggle to today. At the very top, it has a little box. You can see how much you're going to get today or how much you're going to get at the end of the settlement. You can also see this all in the app now, and you can even request your funds with the app. So in the app, under payments, at the top, you're going to see a funds available now amount. This is what you would get if you hit pay me at the bottom of the app. So maybe you had $1,000 that was due to you at the end of the settlement, but if you ask for it to be paid out to you right now, it's going to be a different amount. The reason is that some of your items have not hit that 7-day post-delivery waiting period, so you wouldn't be getting that money until that date has cleared. The Pay Me Now feature will also reset your 14-day next payout from the day you select it. So if you did it today, it would reset it to 14 days from today. Because like I mentioned, it's always in a 2-week, 14-day period. You can ask for it really whenever you want to, but it is always going to reset that next payout to be 14 days from today. I know some sellers who do it daily. I used to do it every Monday, every week. So now I just let it do it. It's normal every 2-week cycle, but you can do it whenever you want to. Once Amazon sends you your money, it's actually going to take a day or two to hit your bank account. So every Monday, Amazon is sending me my money, and it takes 2 days, so it's not actually there until I get it on Wednesday. Now, different banks are different. Some you might get it, the next day. Some you might be 2. But Amazon actually says it's going to take up to 5 days. So there is a little bit of a lag time there in when you might get it. Again, you can request your money at any time. However, there may or may not be funds there to transfer. The orders might not be delivered. So it's still estimating, knowing that they're going to be delivered by your next payout. But if you choose that payout whenever you choose it and they haven't, then it's not going to be there. Because Amazon does know when those things are going to be available and delivered. If you ever see that you have a negative amount there, which is totally normal if you're in your first month of selling, then that is the amount that Amazon is going to charge your credit card on file. They'll charge it on the date that you see there. If it goes back to positive before that date, then you're going to get that amount now into your bank account versus being charged. As a new seller, you will have more funds held back than a more established seller. We have all been there, and it does get better, I promise you. But the account level reserve will never go away. This is why I really want to help sellers to understand from the start. So you can manage your expectations and payouts and not get frustrated. If you're expecting this to work real fast, you're going to be frustrated. It will take 4 to 6 weeks before you ever start seeing anything more than $50 to $100 coming back from Amazon. If you start with less money to invest in your business, it's going to take a little bit longer to get going. It's totally still will work and it's totally acceptable, but just know, manage your expectations. It is going to take a little bit longer. It's not impossible. As much as you can and as often as you can, keep sending in as much product as you possibly can. Keep building up your inventory. It happens all the time. We've all been there, and it does get better. The more you sell, the more you can make, and the more you're going to be able to roll over that into more inventory and just continue to grow your Amazon business. Don't give up. Just keep scanning and keep selling. The key takeaway that I want you to take from this episode is that Amazon releases the funds from a sale 7 days after it's been delivered to the customer. I think that factor alone will really help you understand why the sale you made today doesn't mean that the money's going to be in your account. It might not be there for a couple weeks. But there is one thing I know, and it's that you can do this. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back next week with another episode. You can follow and subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast player. And if you like watching videos on YouTube, you can check out the podcast on YouTube at Your Selling Podcast. If you want to learn more from me and how to sell on Amazon, you can check out my courses and guides at yoursellingguide.com. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, could you please leave me a review on whatever app you're listening on? It means a lot to me, so thank you so much. If you have a question or you're a member of the YSG community, or you know someone who would make a great guest on this podcast, please reach out at podcast@yoursellingguide.com. Until next week, happy sourcing.